Marissa, I wanted to let you know that I've arranged a family dinner this Saturday. It's just a small gathering. Intimate, elegant, tasteful.
Oh, really? That's news to me. What time were you thinking?
Well, actually, you won't be attending. I've already confirmed the reservation, and there's just not enough space in the private room for everyone.
Not personal. Got it. Just a family dinner without your family's daughter-in-law.
Don't make this harder than it is. I had to make cuts. The venue is very exclusive, not the kind of place you squeeze in extra chairs.
Oh, I wouldn't want to ruin the aesthetic. Wouldn't want to show up and, clash with the napkins?
That's not fair. You know what I mean? The dinner has a tone. Certain guests bring ambiance. Others complicate it.
Wow, so I'm a complication now?
That's not what I said.
It's absolutely what you said, Helena, just not with that many syllables.
This restaurant is refined, quiet, elegant. I didn't think it would suit you. You've always been a little, casual.
Casual, right. And here I thought that was called being relaxed.
I didn't mean that as an insult. Some people are comfortable in denim. Others are meant for linen and silk. I just didn't want you to feel out of place.
Kindness usually feels less like a door being slammed in your face.
That's dramatic. No one's slamming anything. I just curated the evening with care. It's an intimate moment for family.
Except not my family, apparently.
Ethan understands. He agreed it might be good for you to take a night to yourself. Relax, watch a movie.
No, of course not. God forbid I clutter up your curated room with my working-class presence.
That's not what this is about.
Isn't it?
You're twisting my words. I chose Bellissimo because it's perfect for the occasion. Exclusive, polished, subtle. You don't just walk in.
Huh, imagine that.
The room has a Murano chandelier, real white glove service, a pianist in the corner. They don't even take online reservations. I had to call someone.
Sounds like you worked really hard to impress the people you did invite.
I did, and I wanted the mood to be seamless. I know that's not a word that means much to you, but it matters in these settings.
And I'm the wrong tone.
If you insist on making it sound cruel, I can't stop you, but I try to be generous.
And yet here we are, you texting me a snub wrapped in a bow and calling it a gift.
You're being unnecessarily combative.
And you're being exactly who you always are.
Ethan and I simply value certain standards. He was raised to appreciate things done properly.
Ethan barely noticed the linen at our wedding, but I guess people learn new tastes when their mothers teach them.
I really don't appreciate the tone.
Trust me, Helena, the tone could be worse.
I'm trying to keep this civil. I'd like you to remember that we are family, despite our differences.
Family dinners are usually the one place that doesn't need a guest list, but I guess I never quite made the cut with you.
The reservation is under my name, Saturday at 7. I'll make sure the staff knows not to expect you.
How thoughtful.
And for what it's worth, I genuinely hope you use that evening to unwind, meditate, reflect.
Sure, well, you sip wine 2 rooms over, surrounded by cutlery and people who fit the tone.
You're mocking what you don't understand. That restaurant has a per-plate minimum that would make your head spin.
Probably. I tend to measure value differently. You know, things like honesty, humility, actual kindness.
I'm sorry you feel this way, but I won't apologize for trying to give Ethan and the rest of us something tasteful.
He does. I hope it's everything you designed it to be.
Thank you. I'm glad you understand.
Oh, I understand plenty.
much for you. You were standing beside me when we installed that chandelier. You helped pick out the damn pianist. If anyone should feel out of place there, it's her.
I know, but she made it sound so clean, so final, like it had already been decided, and all that was left was to inform me I didn't make the cut.
And what about Elliot? What did he say?
I sent him the message. He saw it, but he left me on red. No follow-up, no question, nothing. Just silence.
That boy. No, that man. That man stood next to you at the altar, and now he lets his mother cut you out like you're just some name on a list? He let her do this, and he didn't even have the decency to pretend he cared?
I think that's what broke me a little. Not just what she said, but that he let it land and stayed quiet while it did.
I don't know what's worse, that he didn't defend you or that he didn't even flinch. He saw you get pushed out of your own life and just let it happen, like it was some minor scheduling issue.
I would have taken anything. A sorry, a shrug, even a dumb little emoji, but he gave me nothing. Like I was an inconvenience he was hoping would resolve itself quietly.
That family has always cared more about appearances than truth, and now they're trying to rewrite the story without you. And they're doing it in my restaurant, Marissa. That's not just insulting, it's personal.
I didn't expect her to love me, but I thought, after everything, she'd at least pretend I mattered. Instead, she disinvites me like it's a formality. No warmth, no room, just an edit.
You were the one who made those dinners work. You kept the peace. You carried the small talk when the silence got awkward. And now she thinks replacing you will make things feel more refined? I want to see who's sitting in that fourth seat.
You checked the reservation?
Of course I checked. I told you, nothing happens in my house without me knowing. She booked 4, that part wasn't a lie, but her excuse was, you were never part of that head count.
So who's it for?
I don't know yet. She didn't list names, just numbers. But whoever it is, she thinks they fit better, that they match her chandelier and her idea of what family looks like.
Maybe it's someone new, someone she doesn't have to explain, someone who won't remind her of everything she's trying to erase. It could be anyone, and somehow that's worse than knowing.
Whoever they are, they're not better than you. They're just convenient, quiet, willing to smile and nod while Helena orchestrates her fantasy. But I won't be smiling, not in my kitchen.
I want to see them. I want to see exactly who she decided was a better fit. I want to know who took my seat while I'm home pretending it doesn't matter.
You won't have to wonder. I'll be there, watching. And when they walk through that door,
evidence or the money. You're all mouth, Marissa, no teeth.
You know what's even worse than you putting your hands on me? The fact that your son stood there and said nothing. Not when I showed up. Not when you grabbed me. Not even after you hit me.
Elliot understands boundaries. He knew better than to interfere with something I was already managing.
He didn't even blink, Helena. I looked him right in the eye while you were screaming in mine, and he looked away, like I was the problem.
Because you were. You humiliated him. You embarrassed the family. What reaction did you expect? Applause?
I expected something. A word, a question, a line of defense. But he just stood there and let you drag me by the hair like I was nothing.
That's not true. He asked me afterward if I was all right. He said I seemed upset.
Of course he did. Because the only woman he's ever been trained to comfort is you.
Be careful, Marissa. You're starting to sound jealous.
I'm beyond jealousy. I'm disgusted. With you, with him, with the entire charade you've built where I'm somehow always the one being asked to understand.
You're not a victim. You're a disruption.
No, I'm your son's wife, and you've made that mean absolutely nothing.
You've said your piece. Now go home before you embarrass yourself.
You've done more than enough already. Just seeing your name on my phone tonight, it reminded me I'm not alone in this.
Not alone, Marissa. You are surrounded by me, by this kitchen, by everyone here who actually knows who you are.
Then why does it feel like I'm the one who needs to disappear to keep the peace?
Because they've been chipping away at you for so long, you started thinking erosion was your fault. But it's not. It never was.
She looked me in the eye and told me to go home. And for the first time in years, I didn't know what that meant.
Home is not a house, Marissa. It's the people who still see you when you feel invisible. And if that means this kitchen, this staff, this broken old man, And that's where you belong. Let me ask you something. Does Elliot have any cousins? Ones I haven't met?
Yeah, a few, but they're older. One lives in Boston, the other's married with 3 kids in Santa Barbara. Why?
Because I'm looking at a young man and a young woman sitting with Helena and your husband right now, and neither of them looks like Aunt Teresa.
The owner of the restaurant. And he would never associate with the likes of you.
Yeah, funny story about that.
What's that supposed to mean? Don't get smug with me, girl. You've always had a hard time understanding your place.
My place is wherever the truth is backed up by surveillance-grade clarity and 2 angles of you dragging me by the scalp.
You're bluffing. You wouldn't dare. Antonio would never hand that over to you. He's a businessman, not a fool.
You're 2 for 3. He is a businessman, and he is not a fool, but he already handed over the footage to me.
You can keep telling that lie all you want, but I'm never going to believe it.
Let me throw that right back at you, Helena. You can keep telling yourself that all you want, but it's the truth. He gave me the footage because I asked him personally. He's my father.
Ha! There's not a chance in the world that Antonio is your father.
You never met my parents, did you?
I remember you telling me your mother passed away and your father was too busy with work to attend the wedding, so I never met him, no.
under chandeliers. 40 years ago, I left a dirt-poor village in Italy with $50 and a torn suitcase. Couldn't speak a word of English. Landed in Chicago, slept in a basement, scrubbed dishes till my hands bled. Folks like you laughed, called me a dumb foreigner, thought I'd never rise. I built Bellissimo from a food cart, Helena, a cart! Worked through winters with no heat, learned English from street signs, got cheated by suppliers who smelled my accent, but I kept going. For Marissa, for her mother, for the family I swore I'd lift up. You think your threats scare me? I've faced hunger, eviction, doors slammed in my face. You're just noise in a fancy dress.
Oh, save the immigrant saga for someone who cares. Your past doesn't justify betraying me. That footage is private, and I'll have my lawyer sue you for every penny you've got. Bellissimo will be a memory when I'm done.
Sue me? I've faced worse than your courtroom tantrums. Landlords jacked up rent to push me out. Bankers scoffed at my dreams. I outlasted them all. You're not some grand villain, Helena. Just a loudmouth with a checkbook. And let's talk about betrayal. You broke my daughter's spirit. Marissa's my pride, my blood. She helped me pick that chandelier you drool over. She worked beside me when her mom passed. You called her a nobody? She's the heart of this place. You hit her, you hit me. You don't get to slink away like it's nothing.
Lies, Helena? I told Richard the truth about your curated dinner at Bellissimo. Your lover, Thomas, was there, wasn't he? I've got undeniable proof. Servers saw you kissing him in the private room last month. Valets caught you sneaking off together at night. I handed Richard your flirty texts, incriminating photos, even a hotel booking you were too careless to delete. My curation feels exquisitely elegant, don't you agree?
That's preposterous, Melissa! Thomas is a refined family friend, nothing more. You're weaving disgusting scandals to ruin me. Spying like a lowlife, digging through my private life. It's beneath contempt! Richard won't believe your fabricated nonsense over me. You've crossed a line, and I'll make you regret it.
Fabricated, Helena? He saw Thomas's "darling, meet me later" texts on your unlocked phone. Not exactly subtle. He's done with you, and I'm done with Elliot. Your precious son's no saint. Clara, that green dress girl, is his mistress. She's been his secret for a year, right under my nose, while I trusted him blindly.
That's utter madness, Melissa. Elliot would never betray you. Clara's just a charming friend swept up in your paranoid delusions. You are concocting this to tear our family apart. I'll ensure every socialite in Chicago knows what a spiteful, conniving creature you are. You'll be shunned for this.
Paranoid, Helena? I've got screenshots of Elliot and Clara planning romantic weekends while I worked late. Sarah, our server, saw them cozying up at your dinner, giggling like lovesick teenagers while you preened over your wine. I sent Elliot the evidence. He didn't deny it, just pleaded with me to keep it from you. My divorce papers are filed, Helena. Your golden boy's single, just like you now.
You're a monster, Melissa. Clara's innocent, and Elliot's loyal to his core. You've twisted everything to destroy us. You had no right to meddle in my marriage or his. Richard's overreacting, but I'll win him back with my charm. You're burning every bridge, and you'll regret this betrayal.
Good. I don't want bridges to cheaters. I found texts where Elliot promised Clara a future, swore he'd leave me for her. Betrayal runs deep in your blood, Helena. Clara's done with him. She called me, livid that he lied about being married. She's ready to testify if I need her. Your family's crumbling, and I'm just warming up.
You vindictive liar, Melissa! There's no affair, not with Thomas or Clara. I invited them because they're refined, unlike you with your tacky common ways. You're nobody without us, a nobody! I'll fight this divorce, rebuild my impeccable reputation, and Bellissimo will pay for harboring you.
Refined, Helena? Thomas was your side piece. Clara was Elliot's. You both thought you could cheat and keep your polished image. I showed Richard and my lawyer everything. Texts, photos, witnesses. Richard's moving out, and I'm packing my bags. You're not slipping out of this, no matter how loudly you scream.
You wretched girl, Melissa! You can't do this to me! I'll rally my friends to shun Bellissimo, drive it into the ground. Nobody crosses me and walks away unscathed. Elliot won't forgive you for dragging his name through this filthy mud. You'll be left with nothing.
Elliot can keep his lies and his mistress. My dad's banning you from Bellissimo. No more chandeliers, no more private rooms. You and Elliot can find another place to play your deceitful games. Maybe Thomas and Clara will join you for a cozy double date. I'm standing tall, Helena, while you're falling apart.
You're nothing, Melissa. Richard's lawyer won't find a shred in my prenup. I'll get everything, and you'll be left destitute. You think you've won this war? You're delusional, a pathetic nobody.
Richard's lawyer found your prenup's cheating clause. You're getting zilch, Helena. Elliot's broke. Clara's gone. You built this mess. My dad built Bellissimo with heart, not your fake polish. Your gossip won't touch us. I'm free from your venom, Elliot's betrayal, your rotten family.
You'll pay for this, Melissa. I'll ruin you and that tacky restaurant. You're nobody, just a spiteful, vengeful nobody.
I've already won, Helena. My lawyer's adding your assault to my divorce case. That footage is pure gold. You and Elliot can share a lawyer. Might save you some pennies. I'm Antonio's daughter, more than you'll ever be. Go cry to Thomas. I've got a divorce to finalize and a restaurant to run. Goodbye, Helena.
I'll destroy you, Melissa. You can't do this to me.
Months had passed since I exposed their lies, and Helena's life lies in tatters. She's divorced, penniless, her prenup's cheating clause having stripped her bare. Her elite friends abandoned her after Thomas fled for a wealthier lover. Elliot, too, is broken. His real estate ventures collapsed without my father's restaurant connections. Clara deserted him upon learning he was married, leaving him alone, his dreams shattered. Their once perfect facades are now dust. Meanwhile, I am flourishing. I finalized my divorce and now run Bellissimo alongside my father, whose pride lights up our kitchen. The restaurant thrives, packed nightly with loyal patrons who cherish our authenticity. Sarah and the staff, my true family, celebrate with joyous after-hours gatherings. I established a scholarship for underprivileged youth, proving nobody's can soar. Helena settled her assault case, fearing my footage would go public. Elliot's desperate pleas for forgiveness remain unanswered. I am free, my spirit unbroken, my path clear. Bellissimo's chandelier gleams, untainted by their deceit. They sought to crush me, but I rose stronger, their betrayal fueling my ascent. While they drown in their self-made ruin, I reign over my empire.